the city mayor to suspend the work being done
Why?
to convert residential grounds for
Why,
businesses.
why?
Well, first of all, it goes contrary to what the
Yeah.
law said. The law had said that that land in Bel Air was
I
reserved
gotta visit Bel Air. I gotta
reserved
visit
for
Bel Air.
recreational purposes.
Yes, I gotta
Also,
visit
the
Bel Air.
land.
I gotta visit here.
Yeah, the land in Sobrianville,
Yes.
Farnham's ground.
Okay.
What people are seeing up to yesterday, residents were complaining that they're bulldozing the ground.
I didn't know how to do
These
that.
guys are defying the minister.
Yeah.
Bel Air Park residents, one called me and said they asked the minister to halt the mayor and city council works that is going on in the playground. That is the headline in Stabrook News here. So we hope that this is in defiance of what the minister said. And you know, if it was in Burnham's day, what the penalty would be. You know, these guys are defying. Eh?
Yeah, Barnum can helicopter.
Yes. So we hope that the plea of the residents will be, and also that they adhere to the law. This same Tom Clark was talking about green this and green that. Look what he's doing. Now also we have sympathy too with the family of the city councilor Judy Garrett, who we expressed our sympathy, who died suddenly at the age of 64. And also we have people are saying that on the streets that the founding fathers, Burnham, Jagan, would not agree to what this sellout. They look at it as a sellout with Exxon Oil.
When it's
The agreement. The people are saying that they.
Why you say the sellout?
Well, it gives these people control.
No.
That degree of control in our country. We were trying to get rid of foreign control and foreign domination. Now it looks like we want to give up our independence. They can come in and tax free everything,
That's right,
that, then give us back the thing 40 years after when they become like junk. Yeah. Now also, we're calling on the head of the Streets and Highway Lights Department of the Ministry of Public Infrastructure. I think his name is Terence O'Brien. He has restored the seawall bandstand. We want him to do something about the lights in the city. You know, light up the city, and there are certain lights that are on 24/7. North Road, just up the road here, Newmarket Street, Common Street, Duke Street. These are examples of street lights that are on all the time. Like we have so much, we can generate so much power, and we can afford to have to expend this, and it doesn't cost us anything.
We have one guest and this program.
Yes.
I'd like to guest introduce yourself.
My name is Nada Raj Kumar. I'm from Canada.
Okay.
I am a founder of Peace Vision Canada.
Okay.
We're spreading the message of peace all around the world.
Okay.
I connected to Tamil culture proudly, and going around the
Around
world.
the country, what do you mean by that?
I visited countries, South Africa. Basically, I'm from Sri Lanka, living in
So what the
Canada.
purpose is going to the country, different countries?
Well,
What the purpose, main purpose?
main purpose of spreading the peace,
Okay.
Peace.
harmony.
Oh, yes.
Yeah,
yes.
well, I belong to a Buddhist organization, Soka Gakkai,
Yes.
which does the same.
Yes.
We spread peace in
Yes.
120
Yes.
something countries.
Culturally, we connect people by the language of Tamil.
Okay.
I'm a foreign affairs secretary to the Tamil movement of culture.
Okay.
And so we have connections more than 100 countries
Yes.
where Tamils are living.
Okay.
And we love peace and harmony around the world.
Yeah.
People with no poverty.
Yes.
And we are spreading that words all around
So
the world.
what concrete action do you take?
Well, we are doing a lot of charities, especially where we can identify countries that
Like what?
like pure water,
Okay. That's good.
pure water.
Okay.
But how
Clothing.
do you get people to have this idea that they should be peaceful, even with their neighbors? They
Yes.
shouldn't want to fight with their neighbors and in families and so on. How do you convey this message of peace?
Well, always the peace bring the harmony of the minds.
But
And-
if I may say something, my brother, you're doing a commendable job.
Yeah.
But without justice, there could be no peace.
Yes, but we have to bring the justice by talk, not by violence.
Well, we've been talking long in Guyana. The court system is in a mess right now. Big cases drag on for years. This guy got that we spoke about before, Mr. Arjun, after 10 years,
10 years.
in excess of 10 years, before he could get justice. I'm waiting in the case of my brother, who died in 2011. This is 2018. We're waiting for justice because,
I still waiting on justice. It take me 10 years to get a license.
Yes.
20 years to get a radio license.
And in terms of justice,
Yes.
just last week, a
Yes.
friend of mine got shot down from behind, shot in the back. And the guy who shot him works with the city council as a constable, city police. And the constabulary, or the city council, is paying his bail $800,000. And I can't understand. It ought to be justice for Marlon Fredericks, but instead, it's a cover-up happening right now. So your organization
You can't say
also
cover-up.
got to-
You don't have no evidence.
That's
No,
taxpayers'
no,
money.
we can't no evidence on that. No.
No, that's taxpayers'
Yeah,
money.
yes,
It's
yes.
Taxpayers' money,
Taxpayers' money,
bailing,
yes.
bailing the man who allegedly committed the act
Okay.
of murder, not even manslaughter.
Yes.
It is supposed to be murder. But here it is, we have a city hall that has no money.
We don't know the
to pay
facts
its
right.
workers,
We don't know.
finding
We don't know the facts
$800,000
right.
to
We
bail.
don't know the facts.
All
We
right.
don't know the facts right now.
But to me, there's no justice there.
No, we don't know the facts yet. Yes, continue.
Yes.
Yes.
So it is.
Yes.
It is our
Yes.
duty
Yes.
to
Yes.
spread the word
Yes.
about peace. But talks always brings justification. We don't believe in violence.
Okay.
We don't believe in
Okay.
war.
Okay.
We don't believe in
So- so
aggressive-
So what motivates you to get in on this program? What motivates you?
Well, I've been visiting many countries.
Yes.
I want to thank the government of Guyana
Yeah.
here and people like you,
Yes.
Mr. Sharma,
Yes.
doing grateful job
Yes.
and very grateful job.
Yes.
And when I was sitting in your office today, I can
Yeah.
see many people walks in
Yes, true,
with the
yes.
different problems,
Yeah,
and
yes.
you are giving a solutions
Yes.
for them.
Yes.
So I have my respect for you
Yeah, yes.
is going up and up.
Okay.
So it's nice to see people like you
Okay.
around the world.
Okay.
And I have visited many countries. I meet great people, prime ministers and presidents and chief ministers.
Okay.
And,
Myanmar, what was your views there on what is going on in Myanmar?
Myanmar, yes. The politically, I don't want to give any comment to
Okay.
that. But we are away from
Yes.
politics.
Okay. Yes.
We spread the word.
Okay.
Peace around the
Yeah.
world.
Okay.
No fighting.
Sir, please come forward.
Yes.
Make it fast, right?
Yeah.
Please come. Over. Just be stand right away.
Yeah.
Come. Tell me what is your problem, major problem.
My name is Dennis
Yeah.
Capel. I have a major problem
yes.
at the
Yes,
Ministry
yes.
of Lands and Survey.
Yeah.
And earlier last year,
Okay.
myself and
Yes,
wife.
yes.
I
don't know. Yes.
Myself and wife went up to the Ministry of Lands and Survey concerning a piece of land at Timeri, where I'm hailing from. And we went up there speaking to, I think it was a supervisor. I don't want to call any names. And she had referred to myself and wife explaining to a supervisor that I was just explaining to these, referring to me and my wife as these. And so I wrote a letter concerning that, demanding an apology. And the letter was prepared, I was
Who
told.
you send this letter to?
I sent this letter to the Commissioner of Lands and Survey.
Yeah.
And I didn't get any reply. So myself and son went in
Yes.
to see this gentleman,
Which gentleman?
Trevor Ben, the
Yes,
Commissioner
yes.
of Lands and
Yes,
Survey.
yes.
As we went in there, through frustration, I spoke a little bit above, not
Yes,
loud,
yes,
but
okay.
above my normal tone.
Okay.
And so he asked me, says, well, why you being so loud? I said, sir, it's true frustration. I'm sorry.
Okay.
It's exactly what I'm saying. It's true
Okay,
frustration.
okay.
And as soon as I mentioned a certain situation happening in Timeri, drainage problem, I called the man's first name, and Trevor Ben mentioned the last name of the man, which means that he's aware of what the problem is.
Yes.
And this man yelled at me, hollered at me,
Yes.
as if I'm a dog. Trevor Ben, yeah.
Okay.
Trevor Ben. And so I sat there what I had in my mind, I was going to hit this man.
No, no,
But
no,
I
no,
sit-
no, don't hit him, no.
Yeah, no. But I
Yes.
sit there,
Yes.
I
No
sat
violence.
there,
Yes, yes.
and with my hands to my
Okay,
jaw, and I listened to how this
Okay,
man who's supposed to be
Okay.
a public figure
yes,
is treating me like if I'm a dog or something. So I told my son, let's leave.
okay,
And we left
okay,
and went away. Now, my progress is being held up right now because we had certain things to do with the land,
Okay.
business-wise.
okay,
And it's 8 months now this
Okay.
man has my paperwork
Okay.
and I can't get through to
Okay.
that. So I am seeking the removal of Trevor Ben. And anytime there's parliament, I'm going to
Okay.
picket him,
okay,
right?
yes.
Okay.
The story got two
No,
sides
the
though.
story got more than one side, but we got three sides, three, four sides.
Yeah, yeah,
We
yeah.
got to ask Mr. Green, we can comment on this.
No, but
Okay.
That's all.
Now, that way, who you send letter to?
I sent a letter to the president of Guyana.
Yeah.
I have the response to the letters
Yes,
here.
Yes,
He wrote back and asking me for more information,
Yes.
which I did.
yeah,
He then said in this second letter
Yes.
that he's forwarding the letter to the Minister of State, Joseph Harmon.
yes.
This is about 3 or 4 weeks now. I haven't heard anything from
And they're
Harmon.
busy, you know, they're busy.
Yeah, well, I
Yes,
give and
yes,
take,
yes,
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 yes. I haven't heard anything. But this man certainly cannot
Okay.
deal with members of the public.
Why you say that?
But our guests should be able to throw some light on it.
Why you say that, Candy?
Because he's a servant, he's a public servant.
Okay.
And even
Fight
if
me, yeah, fight.
yes, even if he's annoyed about
Okay,
something,
yes.
it is his position to refrain
Okay.
from being anger or anger a member of the public because of his position.
So our guests can refer to that,
yes.
the restraint.
You
He
should-
should, what do you want him to do? To take 2 deep breaths?
Yeah.
What do you want him to do? Whenever he's
Yes,
worked up like
so-
that.
Yes, yes.
So avoid violence. What do you think he should do?
Well, you know, like we
Yeah.
believe in talks and peaceful
No,
demonstration.
but that
Yeah.
actual situation, you should have taken like 10 deep breaths or what? When Mr. Ben shouted at him.
Yes.
Politically, I have no comment on that.
No, there's
but
not a
I don't
comment,
know
but
No.
we're talking about not the
In
politics.
circumstances
the
such as those.
circumstances.
Okay.
What should he
Circumstances.
do?
Very
take a deep
sad,
breath?
very sad. Everybody get respect
Yes.
and everybody get
Sorry, can we sit
treated
please, please?
Okay.
equally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what the
Mr.
human
Green?
nature for.
Yeah.
That's
Please
what my
come.
comment.
Mr. Gray shed some light and answer on
So
this
you're going to
matter.
pass the chair.
Yeah.
You're going to pass.
Bring a chair,
Sure.
bring a chair, bring a chair.
During the week,
Yeah,
there was big talk about the media walking out on the
Okay,
GDF
okay.
event.
All right.
Yeah.
And I think it's
Okay.
about time that
Okay.
people in
Yeah.
general realize that the
Considering-
media is a
thank you,
fourth
Mayor.
estate and ought to be given the due
I will have it
respect.
next, yes.
Respect them.
Yes,
Treat them
yeah.
with dignity.
Mr.
Remember the long
Mr. Gray,
walk
what you
they
got
had
to
from-
say about this
from
gentleman
that side,
complaining
from
about
the
this?
seawall side.
How he was treated, he was treated. You tell me your view. You're an experienced man. Yeah,
Well, his frustration
Yeah,
could
yes.
stem from a number of factors.
yes.
I have never attempted to defend a public officer,
Yes.
but I've seen Trevor Ben, because he called his name,
Yeah.
operate in very stressful conditions in 2 cases in the quarantine about a year and a half ago.
Yeah.
He displays a certain professional ethic and calm.
Okay.
So I'd be surprised if he...
But you come to this time?
Well, it was a very tense situation
Yes.
on the quarantine.
Okay.
Had to do with land.
Yes.
People had been stealing land.
Yes.
And I saw him operate very professionally.
Okay.
That's all I can say.
Okay.
I can't defend him.
Yeah.
The man must know what he's saying.
Okay.
On the other hand, if you are a member of the public and you approach a public officer with a degree of hostility, it takes a lot of training and patience, Job-like philosophy, not to respond. I've seen it happen in some cases.
Okay.
And members of the public must know that if they have a grievance, they must approach it
Okay.
stating facts and not dealing with the emotional aspects alone. As Stanky said a moment ago, every
Yeah.
story has 2 sides.
Yes.
In each case, I think we should, this program, approach the particular officer to get a comment so the next week he can say what he has to
Yes,
say.
yeah.
So how's that your review concerning this matter?
Well, you know, the situations that I don't know, And everywhere when the problem arises, we believe in talk
Yeah.
and peace.
Peace.
Okay. So tell me something. You remember the media?
I'm a member of the media.
Yeah.
Back,
Which media?
Back in Canada, we run the media stations.
Okay.
We run
What the name of the station?
FM radio stations.
Yes.
The mainly in Toronto,
Okay, okay.
called East FM,
Yes.
cover the province.
Okay.
And we have streaming television services
Okay.
and SCMO radio services serving the
Okay.
19 different cultural groups
Yes.
in Canada.
Okay.
So it's one of the main radio station in Toronto now.
Yeah. Especially in your 105.1
Yes.
is coming
Yes.
up soon.
Yes. It's coming up soon. That's right.
Justice Radio.
Yes.
But you know, as our brother here, a peace messenger, so to speak, we are right now observing the anniversary, the 10th anniversary of a massacre that occurred in Guyana 10 years ago, the Lusignan massacre, where about 10 people lost their lives. And it's still an open wound to all Guyanese. And in Guyana, there's a lot of healing to be done. A lot of hurt is pervading the atmosphere in Guyana. What would you say as a recommendation for us to start this healing process in Guyana?
I came from a country where more than 50,000 people lost their life on their freedom fight of freedom
In Sri Lanka.
in Sri Lanka. We are finding the solution by talk,
Yeah.
not by the violence.
Yeah.
Okay.
We initiated a talk, and country getting better now, and people understand each other. See, in Canada, we are living more than 150 different community nationalities, harm and peace,
Multiculturalism.
multiculturalism,
Yeah.
the number one in the world.
Okay.
We're practicing in Canada.
Yeah.
We thank our Prime Minister and the country,
Justin.
Justin Trudeau,
Yeah.
our
Yeah.
lovable man.
Yes.
I have sentiments to Canada
Yeah.
myself.
I lived there for about 4 years. I
In
know.
fact, Canada is now being ranked as the second livable country in the world, the
Yeah.
second best
Everybody
country.
together
Okay.
celebrate the differences,
Yes.
Yeah.
differences of
There-
culture.
There's been a little small incident, but
Yeah.
nothing big.
Yes.
Because I lived
Okay.
there, so I know. I know.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nothing-
Call you in the hello?
Hello?
Yes. You are here, please?
Yeah, good afternoon, gentlemen, and how are you?
Yes. Good.
Please, y'all give me a listening ear, a
Yes.
painful
Listen.
one.
Yes.
Now, we got some things passing in this country, and nobody seems to pay attention,
I
or
don't know what
everybody
nobody
don't see, understand what is going on.
Okay.
Mr. Sharma, I don't know who is on your panel there,
Okay.
but whosoever is on the panel, I hope they listen carefully.
Okay. Okay.
Now, we got some videos circulating around this country. People go send it their phone, your friends will go send it their phone, where you find, they say, I don't know if it's Venezuela border or somewhere around there, people beheading people, skinning
Okay,
people
okay.
alive, take out their heart,
Yes. What?
and yeah, you see those videos? I got videos from were coming from other people up
How you
there.
not take out the heart?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then they done they killed the brother, they cut out the two here, and then they done the chop out the head with the dull cutlass. All these things they video and they put it on the media.
Okay.
Now, our ministers and our government and our president and prime ministers and the minister of natural security, all
Yeah.
of them,
Yes. Yes.
national security,
Yes.
sorry, they sit down and they're talking, only talking about
Okay.
what Guyanese this and Guyanese that, and they're barking on each other.
Okay.
And I believe every time they come on the air, ExxonMobil filing a billion barrel more oil and 10 billion
Yes.
barrel more oil, and I believe those people sending a message.
Okay.
I am strongly believe
Yes.
those people sending a message.
Okay.
And I wanted to know, where are the human rights?
Okay.
Only come in when parents discipline their
Yeah.
children or bring it in the school to
Yes.
take out corporal punishment and prayers
Okay.
from school. They must find it
Yes.
in this thing circulating on the air. It
Yes.
stinks. It's lawless and it's loose.
Okay.
Every time you could somebody send you a video,
Okay.
somebody look the other day I collect one from a brother. They got 4 women kneeling down there, the mother and maybe the 3 daughters.
Yes.
I don't understand the language. And the
Okay.
next thing you know is a hack to the head,
Okay.
off the neck.
Okay.
And last night the brother showed me next one where they skin this man alive. This
I
brother
don't
skinny,
wanna
take off his skin, take out his heart, then he collapse. all the time yelling for you like, people aren't taking notice what's going on.
So
I
all
believe
these-
our government needs to tighten up and get something
Okay.
blown over now.
Okay.
We got these people coming in our country and trade. We
Okay.
don't know who is who.
Okay.
We could see their face, we can't see their heart.
Okay.
But they get a permit and a visa from where they come from,
Okay.
and they come in and trade. And if you notice, they're taking over our country.
Okay.
When they're ready to invade our country, they know exactly where to go. And I believe we need to do something, and something needs to be done about this.
Okay. Caller, thank you very much.
Something. Thank you very much, sir.
What is your comment, Mr. Green?
The incident took place outside of our borders.
Yes.
The appropriate Ministry, Foreign Affairs, have taken measures to communicate with the Venezuelan government
Yes.
because a Guyanese national was murdered, slaughtered, tortured, what have you. There's not much more the Guyanese government could do.
Yes.
You're dealing with a level of lawlessness that has been characterized in other societies. We heard about the lawless Wild West years ago,
Okay.
where a number of persons have taken to themselves under the law. I don't know that the Venezuelan government is actively pursuing these people. That's another matter.
Okay.
But in remote areas, and they're demanding tariff from people for gold and
Okay.
minerals. And if you don't comply, you're being slaughtered.
Yeah, gangs and syndicates.
And I don't know, you see, history is our best teacher, you know. You had in some societies which are considered civilized today,
Yes.
lynching.
Yes.
People were,
You see, yes.
had their own form of
Yes,
justice. It's bad, we hope
Okay.
we can put an end to it, but I'm not too sure the government can do more
What,
than
what,
what
do
is
you, what,
already
do-
done.
when-
no, what is Army going to do with this matter?
Who?
The Army.
No, when they crossed over into
Hold on,
Guyana,
hold on.
The army can't go into Venezuela like that.
And
The
this is-
incident took place in Venezuela.
but,
Yes.
but they
In
say these
Venezuela
gangs are
territory.
infiltrating Guyana
Yes,
too.
yes.
Huh?
They say the gangs and
Yes,
syndicates are
yes.
Well,
infiltrating.
up to yesterday, they discovered an illegal airstrip that leads to a road to Venezuela.
Yeah.
Okay.
Our borders are vast. It's difficult terrain. It's not the first time we had airstrips.
That's
We have a man
yeah.
charge right now.
Yes.
But that's a strategic point they should.
It's Guyana has a population of less than 1 million persons.
Oh,
Even if you have an army with less than 1 million people, it will not be easy for surveillance.
Yeah, but
With 83,000 square miles.
yeah, but I don't think the Venezuelan government officially would condone those kind of things. But I think it's gang infiltration of gangs, and we need to cooperate with them
But
to
how you know
solve
that?
this
How you
problem.
know that?
Huh?
How you know that?
No, from the evidence, this is not the first time
Okay.
people Guyanese have been killed over there,
Yeah.
you know, by these gangs and syndicates in Venezuela.
Okay.
Hello, sir.
Yes.
I say one more
You
thing.
have to
Yeah.
appreciate
I
the
understand what
complex
Mr.
situation
Green
in
is saying.
Venezuela.
Just hold on. Yes, hold the line. Go ahead, Mr.
Venezuela has a very complex
Yeah.
political situation
Yeah.
Yeah.
where the president is on tremendous strain. There are hard times in Venezuela. And I don't think anybody here can pontificate as exactly what's happening
Okay.
in that neighborhood territory.
Okay.
We have to protect our borders and our citizens.
Okay.
There's someone on the phone.
Okay. Okay, Carly, you can go
Yes,
ahead,
sir.
please. Go ahead.
Now, what Mr. Green is saying, I
Yeah.
agree with him.
Yes.
A point.
Yes.
Not 100%.
Yes.
What I'm saying is these things, even though they do these things, it circulates into the internet to show people what they are doing
Okay,
and what they're
that's-
capable
that's-
of. Now, if we know that they've got a food problem over there, and we finding how much billion barrel of oils and all this thing, and we always on the air, we last went, we find how much billion and how much billion. You got to remember, Venezuela used to have a part of us with the rice and the oil, and
Yeah.
they right now we understand like how the oil situate, it going to drain them. And I believe what Mr. Green is saying, he could get a point, but my point is that he's sending a strong message. And as he rightly said, we don't have 1 million people, and Venezuela have millions of people. So when they're going to swarm down at us like an eagle, we got to get something going. We got to say, I don't know what happened to the human rights. These things, they're in the whole world, man. People saying it. What's going on? You can't just sit down and talk about maybe and AB and AB.
Okay.
You got to put some system. You
Okay.
got to start looking at people coming in this country and trade. There's white terrorists going into America because they can't see their face. They don't know who is who. You don't know who is who.
Okay.
They come and then we got them all set to them in Georgetown, taking up China, all of them flying from people, blocking up people, thing and that. We got to get, Guyana belongs to Guyanese anymore?
All right, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, you have Brazilians coming in the country doing robbing
Yes.
people.
Yes.
It's happening. We need to protect the people.
You know what, young lady? Please come here. This young lady got power long years with the children. Walk by a couple of years, she went to come. Please tell me what is some of your problem. Come. Tell me some of your major problem. You come. So you talk.
Mr. Sharma,
Yeah.
the welfare collect my grandfather children, business that's my children, over a month and change. They had the children in the home, right? And the second visit where me grandfather go and visit, the little girl sick with abscess in her ears and she on her arms, inside her ears bell, and she getting hot fever and these things. The children crying for coming with us without the man consent when they had the man children over the river, the Coney the island, right? And they remember when they turned to us and told us that we cannot do things like that. We have to wait for Mr. Roddock and Mrs. Henry. We can't come into the place like that.
Who's this person?
Henry's fine ladies wear glasses. She's wear like
You don't have
clothes.
name? You don't have a name?
Henry, Mistress Henry.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
Mr. Roddock,
Yes.
right? We have to wait for them. We supposed to come in like these to see the children, and we supposed to come and visit here and these things, right? I even turned to my grandfather, said no. I said, Junior, come and help me go. He even turned to say, man, you can take a lie to fight this case because he
What
understands.
time so who your children father?
My grandfather
What's
was
like, your children father?
he's work with GB Security Arms.
Yeah.
Every week, he makes sure that he support the children and make sure that he gives the
You
children.
shouldn't get any food to eat?
Yes, he did
How
buy
you know
food in the
that?
house. He's buy food and make sure that he look
You see
after
when they
the
buy food, you see
children.
buy- you see-
Yeah, he even sent to school the children,
Yeah.
right? And make sure that the children are right and make sure at least the children eat and these things, right? And they said to us that a promise, Mr. Roddock promised that, that we let we build the house and then we're going to get the children and let we put food stuff in
I
the
am
house.
somebody you want to service it. You're not taking children with the children, but you're not taking care of the children. What do you got to say on that?
I
I will go and visit the place tomorrow or somebody soon.
no, Mr. Sharma, I look after my kids. That is a lie.
Yeah.
What Anne Green saying, that is a lie. She came in my house and just harassed me, just collect my children,
Why
no
she
clothes
harassing?
and
Why
this
she
thing.
harassing? Why she
Mr.
harassing?
Sharma, I don't know why she harassed. I don't know why me house loan they coming to. Nobody else more house they ain't coming to. He have a lady next door named Mrs. Patsy. I know conversation she farm with
Okay.
my sister, but I'd live in the back downstairs.
I'm sorry, I don't want to answer. Please sit there and never can get the facts. I know what's the facts right now. Right? We know what the facts, right?
Mr. Sharma,
I'll go and visit your area. Your people. Where,
Sharma, I do know-
where exactly live?
in East Lepenta, Fremont. My children did not do anything to anybody. All I want is my children.
I want to visit your place. I want to visit
Yeah.
your place.
Yeah.
When you go to visit your place?
Mr. Sharma, glad for you come
What's
right
the
now.
address?
Yeah, but your address.
278
Yeah.
Fremont Street, East Lepentons.
Okay. Okay.
Right?
Yes.
Mr. Sharma, my children have shares and my sister
When
just
they share, what
tormenting
you
me.
mean?
I mean, like I have a party the house. Can my mother die and leave shares to me and told them to
How you
divide
really
the
got
house to
shares?
7 pieces.
You got it in
But
writing? Wait.
when my mom died, told her to divide the 7 pieces, the house to 7 pieces, and she never divided the house. They just tormenting me.
Is it in writing?
That's a different story.
Is
Right?
it in writing?
Yeah.
The mother, what your mother said?
Yeah. Me and if she's in be to court. Me and the sister who live in the back down, she's
Okay.
been to court.
Okay.
Right?
Which
What she
court?
told the magistrate, right? She told the magistrate, like she want me out the yard. The magistrate told her, no, she can't take me out the yard. Even if she have paper for the
Now
house.
please sit in the chair. You go with the talk. Mr. Green, what's some of your views on this matters? You are a very, very important man at this time.
I don't think the agency would remove her children
Okay.
capriciously.
Yes.
And she need, I suspect,
Yes.
some level of counseling.
Okay, I think so too.
And so
I
that
think
she
so,
can
yes.
level her life out.
Yes, yes.
The children are important to her and to the community.
Yes.
The house matter, she has to get a lawyer.
Okay.
She says she has a lawyer.
Yes. Colin, hello?
Hi.
Yes. Go ahead, please.
Phone to you, Bonnie.
Hello?
Hello. Good afternoon to you, Bonnie.
Can you speak up? It
I'm
looks like a trick.
that's a good
Is that
afternoon
Trickster?
to you,
Yeah.
Bonnie. I do have a point now.
Yes,
Change up the voice.
Rasta, you're sorry.
Your views.
On what?
Everything you.
Everything. The open line.
Okay. I want to say big up to Komal Chand.
Yeah.
I've always been down on Komal, Gahu's president,
Yes.
but recently Komal has been having an epiphany, like he's been seeing the light. And he's realizing now he's got to work in cooperation with the government on behalf of his
So
workers
you
that
have
he
to use more
represents.
marijuana?
Was that? No?
More marijuana?
Gawa.
Yes.
Gahu,
Yes.
no, Komal Chan.
Yes.
Because of that move he has made to give the government space to make sure the severance money is paid to his workers. He's not really harsh on them.
Okay.
He's cooperating. Now, the political bosses that used to run Gahu, PPPC, taking on. Because Guyana Times newspaper, remember, the media is the fourth estate, a very important estate. And only Guyana Times did a hatchet job on Komal Chan and said, oh, the workers don't believe in him anymore. No other media had that story.
And he should resign.
And he should resign. And when you understand that Guyana Times is allegedly owned by Jagdio
Yeah,
and
that's-
Bobby,
Best friend.
Yes,
best friends,
best friend, yes.
so you understand the trust. So Komal Chan should be commended on standing up as a lion. And further to that, he should know that he has a serious role to play in the continuance of this whole talk about severance, and not only severance, about the future potential move for the workers to get better jobs again. Because people are interested in our sugar estate, I hear Pepsi Cola needs one of the factories. Yeah, Pepsi Cola
Yeah.
wants one of the factories. Nan Prasad wants one of the factories. DDL wants one of the factories. They are viable.
Yeah.
So sugar workers should not really be in fear and trepidation.
yes.
Better must come,
Yes,
better will come,
yes.
better has to come, and they gotta have faith. And Komal, now that you see the light, please support APNU and AFC instead of PPPC.
You can recall Komal Chan, so 50 million that? 50 million?
Komal sue you for 50 million.
50 million,
And
yes.
what happened with that?
Corporation
case?
got mad in that try, I don't know.
It won't try. He can get thrown out.
How we try, I pay my life fee.
So you think it's gonna happen still?
I don't even have
What
to
did he
say.
sue you for?
So some wrong guess what he put it water and this and that water.
Well, right now we're talking nice about him,
Okay.
right? See, he might drop the lawsuit.
Okay.
All right.
And I can't have that. You gotta pay money. Yes.
Got pay the lawyers.
Yeah.
I think Gawu has
Yes.
seen the light of day.
Nice.
Sugar workers have demanded that they not be used as tools for the political bosses of the PPP, and that they remove this nonsense that existed for 40 years. And if you look at the complexion of the sugar workers now, they're a new breed, and they're not prepared to be used as a political football.
Okay.
Komal Chan is aware of this change,
Yes.
and therefore, for his own survival, he's stepping in line, and the government has done much more than we expected. They're now holding consultations over the next 2 weeks in Berbice, at Lusignan. They're inviting all the financial agencies to come in and talk with sugar workers so that they can use their pension, their gratuities, beneficially to open businesses, to buy some lands, and to do what?
To
So
form
the government
co-ops.
has mobilized all of the financial agencies, government and private,
Okay.
the banks, to meet with the workers. Guy Sugar is providing transportation for the workers and their families to go to the places where they have these meetings. No government can do more than that. And I think the government ought to be commended for its courage, its good sense in dealing with a very, very sensitive matter, sugar. Sugar is what brought my ancestors
That's
here
right.
as slaves, sugar and cotton. And sugar today is a different ball game. Europeans are no longer subsidizing sugar,
Okay.
and there's beet sugar.
Okay.
And I think the government has done a fantastic
Yeah,
job
okay.
in dealing with this
Okay.
matter.
Call you in. Hello?
Hello?
Yes? Go ahead, please.
I'm calling to find out what's going on with the low income house lot. I
Okay.
applied since 2010.
Yeah.
Up to now, I can't. The last government and this previous government, they keep telling me they have no low income house lot. So I ain't hearing nothing that's going on with the low income.
Stephen, could you throw something than that?
That's not true.
Yes.
They have house lots
Yes.
for low income.
Yes.
But if very low income people must make
Yeah.
some contribution.
Okay.
It's not a
What's that
charity.
contribution they got to make?
I don't have the figures at hand.
Okay, okay.
But the government is providing, the central housing is providing infrastructure,
Yes.
drainage, roads, which cost money.
Yes.
And the philosophy, as I understand it, is not to put a profit on it
Okay.
and to treat the land as
Yeah.
zero and that the people occupy
Okay.
it. We've had in East Bank Essequibo,
Okay.
people allocated lands have not used it.
Okay.
So it's not a question of giving people land.
Okay.
And this examination was done
Yeah.
2 years ago.
Yes.
Should go into the housing authority
Okay.
and speak to the officers.
Yes.
It suggests that we have a long way to go to correct the flaws that existed in it.
Okay.
Guyana was the top in the Caribbean at one time. We're no longer that. And the wisest of them all knew what he was doing when in the 1953 government he identified education as his portfolio. Forbes Bonham didn't ask for finance and communications. He asked for education because he knew that's the linchpin, the catalyst to move the country forward.
Yeah, but
And we lost our way over the years. We've got to do a recovery job.
at the same time, I accept that, but traditionally we of course did the 3 R's, reading, writing, arithmetic. But now we've got to focus on STEAM. Science.
On what?
STEAM. Science, technology, engineering, arts and humanities and the history.
Why you want to focus on
And,
STEAM?
no, that's a new concept. That's a
Okay.
new
Yes.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
STEAM. But it's more than that. It's a reorientation of the pupils' minds towards a future that's emerging that is based on technology.
Okay.
And while back in time we used to do mental and thing, right? Mental. Now you got computers, you got iPhones, you got all these gizmos and gadgets. So we've got to focus that the young people are not into the traditional educational stream that we are accustomed to
In the past.
in the past. And our teachers have got to adapt. In fact, they have students in schools that are more computer literate than even teachers.
Okay.
You understand what I'm saying? So what are we looking at? We're looking at trying to come up with a curriculum that can prepare students for an emerging economy in Guyana, the Caribbean, and the rest of the world.
True.
And we can take the position as a vanguard nation
Okay.
in that respect. And because of emerging technology, we can become a Silicon Valley once our telecommunications ministry can deal with what's the term here? Liberalization. And even though GTT got a monopoly till 2030,
Yeah.
we can still do things to make our educational system become high-tech, futuristic, and not backward. So our youths are into a different language. They speak a different language, they think differently. We have got to catch up with the youths because they are into the future.
But they at the same time have to respect the values that we bring.
Old school
That-
values, of
exactly.
course. But at the same time, we asking them to respect old school values. It behoves us as older folks to sit down and understand where they are and where they are headed, and more than that, what they want out of life. We can't impose our lifestyle.
Call
on
you
them.
in. Hello?
Mr. Sharma,
Yes.
good afternoon to
Good
you.
afternoon, yes.
I called last week and I told you I was not, all I was getting was like a buzzing song. This week, I'm not hearing anything you guys saying.
Yeah, yes.
All I just watching and I'm trying to get through item. I don't know if other persons are
What area are
Which
you?
area? No.
and
Yeah.
I'm just getting music.
No, nothing wrong with the station.
Where's
Nothing
that?
wrong.
Which area are you?
I'm getting music all the time,
No,
but
no,
I'm not
Which
hearing
area are you?
anything nobody
You've got a different station. What you say not true. That's not true. That's not true. What you say is not true. That's
What
not
area
true.
though?
That is not true. That's not true. It's not true. That's not true.
No, some areas they don't get you clearly.
Call you in. Hello? Hello?
Yeah, good afternoon.
Turn down.
Yes.
What
Hello?
a lady tell me is,
Yeah.
I called twice,
Yeah.
and I didn't get glasses, and now I get you. I called 4 times before now, and I get in the same song. but now I get through it. Thank you. I want to say good afternoon to you on the panel.
Where are you?
Yeah.
I want to say, you see a guy call and tell you about the borderline?
Yeah.
You see these, as well, that you know Venezuela got a corruption deal.
Yeah.
And you see all the guys, he got to leave everything on the right.
I don't know corruption anyway.
I want to let you know
that. I don't know about that.
COC has to be more stiff.
Yes.
Otherwise, the people don't come in the country and take what they want and destroy these people. Okay?
Okay.
So send a message to the government that put strong security around the borderline.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Good.
All this can be fake news. Call it. Hello? Hello?
Good afternoon, Mr. Sharma, on your panel.
Yes.
You sound like
I
trouble.
go through the papers and something bothers me.
Yes. Yes.
First of all,
Yes.
why should we employing somebody from overseas to look into our tourism
Yes.
sector, which was flourishing all the while?
Yes.
Secondly, the crime. I don't know if you're aware, but in the past when this government was in opposition, they used this to recruit the criminals. That's why yes, you look at it, you don't know.
I will ask.
Understand?
I got to
Recruit criminals.
I ask Mr. Secretary to comment on that. He's a more experienced man.
That's a figment of his own imagination.
Okay.
No, Mr. Sankey, don't say no. Can you
That's
sit
not
on the
Mr. Sankey.
office and use that on the ground?
That is
It's not
Mr.
Mr.
know what
Sankey
is going on?
It's not
Mr.
Mr.
Sankey,
Sankey.
you don't say that.
That is not Mr. Sankey's.
Okay.
Is that I talking?
Yeah.
Is that I?
That's Mr. Green.
Is that
Mr. Green.
Mr. Green?
Yes.
Don't want these old scamp. Come on. Yes.
God bless you.
Damn, much up. What's up? Oi. Mr. Green can't tell me nothing. I know so much of you.
Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
All right.
Call in, hello?
That's the essence of freedom.
Hey, man.
The one attacking me and I said,
Shit. Quiet. Hello?
Freedom of expression.
You know,
Zealots.
the question of education is very important.
Yes, that's very
Yes,
important.
yes.
We can't discuss it on this
Hello?
panel.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon to the panel.
Yes,
Good
yes.
afternoon.
Two questions. The
Yes.
gentleman raised a very important
Yes.
thing. Why do we have to take foreigners to run our tourism
Okay,
industry?
okay.
When we Guyanese
Okay. Okay.
we know Guyana.
Yes.
We know people, look, people want when they come in this country, Guyanese, they want to experience Guyanese. Not a foreigner, they want to experience Guyanese, whether it's the interior or what. We could do it. We don't have to. And then the other thing, how come? I see Rastaman cheering and hyping up with Mr. Komalchan. Very good. How come these private companies want our sugar estate and want to produce sugar, and we, the government, can't do it? How come they can make it viable and we can't make it and the government can't make it viable? And the government say they save all this money by closing these estates.
Okay.
How come we can't pay the people? Thank you, Chief.
Thank you very much.
Well, he's making the assumption
Yes.
that the companies who have expressed interest will be producing sugar for export in the traditional manner.
No.
We don't know what they're going to use it lands for, industrial purposes,
Molasses.
subsidiary exercises,
Value added.
tertiary, we don't know. So he's making an assumption not
Yes,
based
yes.
on any facts.
Okay. Call in, hello?
Hello?
Yes, you're here.
Chalmers Megan.
Yes.
That caller before the one.
Yes.
These guys need to respect the elders.
Yes.
Respect other people.
Yeah.
Right? You
Some
would have
people
liked
don't have
nobody to tell him
respect.
he's a
Yes,
scam on
yes,
there.
yes.
It's national
Yeah,
television
yes,
going around
yes.
the world internationally. Now,
People have to talk what they want.
yeah. Now, we got a problem in the
Yes.
school system
Yes,
also.
yes.
As the brother talk about Mr. Kamal Chan just now. Now, Mr. Kamal Chan didn't give birth to the cane sugar industry. All of them used to be there
Yes.
trying, when Mr. Burnham, as they talk about the wise leader,
Okay.
trying to put system in place. And this country would have been on top if they had the cooperation
Okay.
then from Kamal Chan and the other representatives
Yes.
of the union, also the opposition. Now, he didn't board this Gawu or this sugar estate, But that woman,
Yeah.
our children, between life and death, she
Yeah.
gave birth to our children. And by right, the government don't give them a subsidy for mind the children. They need to give the children back to the mother and to the parents. This is the problem we got in this society, where people tell themselves they could do your job, and it is impossible. A mother only know the pain she bears for her child. She wouldn't want to see her child go astray. Let the people give back the children to the children.
Okay.
And come they kill the other two when they take them from the parents, and the two of them dead in the fire. Let give the people the children. And when you either commit murder or they do anything wrong to the children, then let the law come in. Give the people the children. Now,
So what is
that's
your,
the
what is
problem
your
with
view at this
the
time?
system.
What is your view at this time? Your view?
With the children?
Yes.
Let the give the children belongs to the parents, not to the government. This is America where the government does mind the children. Give the people the children. Now, we talking about the school education system, we talk about technology age, and I hear what the Rastaman was saying. Now, Mr. Bonham had 27 languages. He did not technology, you know. He did not computer literate and all these things. You go there to learn. We need to take away cell phone out of the school system. When you go home, you want to study, you go online, you get your cell phone and you study if you want to at home. We need to take it out of the school. 2, we have 2 genders, male and female. We need to stop getting this intermingle and I know you call them this other gender. You got male and man and woman. Any other gender don't need to be in public school teaching our children, but go back and come back and sit back and all this nonsense. We're going to bring a society of lawless people and pure. We don't have to say anti-men, but we can't afford for our young men to turn back off because we got a lot of women born in more than men.
Yes.
So we need to put these people and put them things in the places. Not putting our children in the hot sunset dancing masquerade, making yourself a damn clown. And we cut this nonsense and get rid of this trash and seek to God for mercy, because as he said, technology is going scientifically, spiritually, physically, or whatsoever you want to say. Science is going, and we need to stop making our children a fool.
Caller, thank you very much.
Yes, you
Well
mentioned
said, well
spiritually.
said.
We have to develop our children
Spiritually,
spiritually. as well.
morally.
Morally.
Mr. Green?
I think the key error in all that we've said so far, we've got to find a mechanism to endanger a passion for learning among our generation.
Yeah.
We lost it over the past 20, 30 years for all sorts of reasons. Young people felt the shortest route to get a car or a cell phone is the road to travel. And they lost that passion for education, which Burnham tried to introduce since '53. How you do it, I don't have all the answers. But you've got to develop a passion from the smallest child, from the cradle, that education is important. When you develop that philosophy, that attitude, the technical things can then fit in.
That passion has got to be developed, got to be based on our historical record. We can't, in school, teach children about North America, about England, about France, about Finland, and you don't teach them about India, China, Africa, and about Guyana and South America. So children are disengaged.
But that change has changed.
It has changed,
Oh, yes.
not to a great extent. We
It
are
has
still
changed.
colonial-minded and focused towards North America. Look, Brazil is the 5th largest country in South America, and our education system is not focusing on Portuguese, for example, on Spanish. You understand? The point I'm trying to make is that the world has changed. It is no longer North America and America itself being the leader. China right now is the leader. There's something called BRICS. We've got to change the whole focus of our education system from the mother country of England, America, and Canada to the emerging, developing leaders. China, India, Africa. Our historical content has got to be in schools based on our history. I don't want to read about the North Americans and English history,
we need
about
someone
Cromwell, King Richard, King William, and all these things.
You're contradicting
I want to
yourself.
read about Shaka Zulu,
Listen to me.
Hannibal.
You're contradicting yourself.
In what way?
Our history is not changeable.
It's not changeable.
The fact that we're speaking English here.
That's why we should be teaching Amharic in schools.
Well, listen to me. You can't ignore your history. We speak in English today not by accident. It's part of our history.
Right.
What we need to do, first of all, ensure people know the difference between talkie-talkie, English, American English, and British English. let's perfect what we have already.
And
And then we can go to the other dimensions.
Okay.
I had an issue recently. I think I discussed with you. On our local station, we only hear music from one ethnic group.
Yeah.
And nobody said anything about it.
Okay.
Something's wrong about that.
Okay.
And they're beautiful tunes from Africa and other places.
Yes.
You're not hearing one or 2.5.
Okay.
The reason
Okay.
why
You
too,
therefore need to have a balance in all you do.
the
When
colonization of our
Burnham
minds.
introduced Curry
Oh,
Fester,
man.
No,
Relax.
no, hold on, man.
when Burnham introduced Curry Fester, the idea was to consolidate and emphasize what we already
I
have.
understand. That's why I give enough respect to my Indian brethren for maintaining their close ties to their culture through their music and their other expressions. Our problem as Africans is that we're so colonized that we're more British than the British themselves.
Okay, okay.
And we have got to
Okay.
change that paradigm. And that's why
Enough is enough.
Rastafari
Yes.
is saying roots and culture
okay.
and focus ourselves towards a more Afrocentric consideration.
Okay.
Our problem is that we are more English than the Englishmen.
Who's we?
And I don't want to be.
Who's we?
Well, I and I as Rasta, it's a born Babylon system, and that is what our fight is
Well,
about.
speak-
Breaking down that
you can't speak
colonial,
for everybody.
that colonial, that colonial construct
okay.
that lets me feel that I must
Okay,
perfect English and perfect the Americanism
All right,
more.
all right.
Beyond that, I want to deal with Swahili. I want to deal with
besides
Twa. I want to deal with Amharic, Aramic. Come on, man.
Maybe besides-
We need to teach our youths those languages in school.
And
Yeah.
besides the formal education system, we need to have informal ways.
yes.
You see how this program Jeopardy, everybody listens to it. We should have a Jeopardy program sponsored by somebody locally,
Yes.
where we focus on what happens in Guyana, history, geography, Latin America, and so on, rather than, as you
Okay.
said.
Okay.
They must show
Yes.
the relationship
Well,
between
we-
Yes,
Asia,
let me hear what you got.
Greece.
When I hear
yes,
these talks,
that we hear, yes.
I always thank the Canadian system of education,
Yes.
one of the best education in the world.
Yes.
Lots of countries that are following now.
Yes.
Pluralism.
Again, I wanted to express my comment on the different cultures and different communities living together with harmony and peace.
But how does it happen in the schools? You said.
Well, schools are there.
What do they teach?
Set an example. Okay, Canada has two official languages, English and French. We are living in harmony. We all support for the country.
Parlez-vous français?
Yeah. Yes. Yes. Because even I come from Sri Lanka. I parle français. I like to learn French.
Yes.
I like to respect the languages which speaks
But
in the
as you
country.
know, in Toronto, there was a specific move to establish Afrocentric schools in Toronto to help because of the same problem that they realized that.
Well, that's an example that how we can correct the system, how we can put everybody together in a country. And we are successful on that scheme because we are studying all different paths.
They allow you in Canada to live to your culture and not be
The freedom of
inferior.
rights, freedom of speech.
What kind of adult education you have here?
Well, we have different systems there. People who want to go to college, they can choose to go to college. They want to go to universities, they can choose to go to universities.
No,
They're
but
private.
those who didn't have basic education, who now trying to seek the
Well, we
basic-
have a secondary school system
for adults.
for adults.
Yeah.
Any age you can study.
And what is it free?
Most of them are free.
Yeah.
Most of them
And
are
I think
free.
recently the Canadian government had a program called Second Chance
Second chance.
Really
If you
work.
want to study at any age, you can study.
to retool yourself.
Yeah, I'm so proud of Canada. I'm so proud of the system that works there,
Yeah.
and the Charter of Rights.
Yeah.
The Charter of Rights. I have framed that text and keep it in my home.
Yeah.
The Charter of Rights. Everybody live equally. Enjoy the country.
Call your name. Hello?
Thank you.
Yes, Mr. Sharma, hearing
Yes.
upon you.
Yes.
The PNC was destroyed by Mr. Hyde.
What?
That's why black people have no ideology today.
No.
The PNC mislead black people now.
How you know that?
We do not have an ideology, right?
Okay.
These capitalists, all of them, they're on individual wealth.
Okay.
That's what capitalism is all about. We were a collective people. We understand collectively we were in slavery and collectively we shall go forward. That was changed and thrown out.
Okay.
And now the people in the PNC are an individual will.
Okay.
That's why they preach nothing to the youths around. Nothing,
Thank you
nothing,
very much.
nothing,
what
nothing. I'm not stupid.
So what do you think of the Exxon agreement?
The Exxon agreement? This is not about the Exxon agreement. All the countries that had Exxon is an elite at the top has all the money. It is capitalism. What is the philosophy? The country is the problem. It is not about Exxon, because we not Exxon alone in Bornholm. We had Exxon in Bornholm time, but we had free education from North University. We had a national service. We had remote parts of Guyana. We had remote parts of Guyana because we had national sovereignty, because we know we had a large border. Nothing couldn't be hidden for long.
We had Bookers, Alcan.
We nationalized all those things. No foreigner owned any part of Guyana under Bornholm. So it was the people who owned it.
So what is happening now?
Control your resources. Now we've lost that. The Chinese owns and controls all their resources. That's why they prosper. You either have sense or you don't have sense. You either have an ideology or you don't have. PNC has no ideology. They are following what the white man dictates, and that's how they left from since after Bornholm died till now, which is 32 years. That's all that has happened. And so black people have no ideology. They have no bank. Bornholm built 5-6 bank. You have no insurance company. Nobody in PNC can tell me anything.
They got federal
people that Trump could say what he said.
They got federal power.
All the leaders that they get to follow them have the people left living in, you know what kind of hole. This is how they have them. Look at your black people. We were a collective. China's a collective. China's not an individual, and they're making Belt Road. What are we making? What anybody in PNC could tell me, or any black people, no one with me. No one with me. Any black people, what can they tell them? The people out there don't have any sense. They don't know what to do. All they know is to sit on the pavement and hustle, buy and sell. We became a buy and sell republic under Mr. Hyde. But we are honest intellectuals in the country anymore. The PNC, the PPP are nowhere wrong. Look at the man with the 59 million. Look how much problem it takes to get that. Well, imagine what's going on in this country by a big NBS. Look what's going on in this country. Look at the 10 years. Think and imagine what the ordinary people there in.
Exactly.
They're like a toenail. If things don't change,
Thank you very much.
they will not be living here with 300,000 black people who don't know.
Yes, Mr. Green. Respond.
He said PNC is bereft of ideology.
Let's start with the New Building Society.
Yes.
Last week we discussed this matter in depth, and I believe this station should pick the matter up.
Yes.
I was speaking to a friend who was in school with me, so you can guess his age.
Yes.
He has a civil matter going for 20 years.
What?
He lives in Alberton, a simple civil matter, 20 years.
So why did charge you on the...
Well, it is indicative that the judicial system is fractured. And I believe that something should be done. The old theme, justice delayed, is justice denied, holds strong. And as this program comes on, people call me. Friend called me yesterday. 20 years a civil matter has been going and can't get a resolution.
I could understand.
What do you read regards that?
I don't have all the answers. I'm not a lawyer. But something's wrong.
Something is wrong with the judicial system.
Something's wrong with the system.
And also with the
I've had example of going to court, and the judge just capriciously, I'm not here in this case anymore. No reason given. So that is put back for 6, 8, 9, 10 months.
And the lawyers can't explain why.
Well, something is wrong with this. The system is sick.
We have all the systems seem to be not functioning well. When you go to the city hall, it takes over 6 months. You know. For matters to be for matters to be handled. If you go to the land court, right now I'm facing a long wait. We can't even find my file. You know, the land court. You know, I spoke to the minister about it. You know, and he said he would call, but I have to call him again. This is ridiculous. You know, imagine a land matter, simple thing, just you need to advertise in the papers now, and they can't find my file. It's ridiculous. Guyana, you can't make any progress in
talking about.
18-year-old, there's a problem that the mother called me and stopped me on the road and talked to me about. 18-year-old Samuel John of Buxton is being persecuted at the Sophia Trading School masonry class. Some gang beat him up and goes to his home to harm him. Willet McCalmon says everybody at Ogle Division of Public Security is aware of it and doing nothing. Her son is now in fear at home.
I still got more on one side.
Right.
Yes.
But the number to call in case somebody wants to
police
contact them
protection.
is 220-8805 or 646-1927. But she and her son are in fear of their life at home.
Well, we need police protection.
We now ask the minister. The minister will come in the program, Jaipal Sharma, and we go take just on the program next couple of seconds or so. Call you. Hello. Hello.
Good afternoon, Mr. Sharma, to you and your panel.
Yes.
Mr. Sharma, last night I was watching 11 News, right?
Yes.
And this girl, Samuel, whatever she named,
yes,
she claimed that Fireman Rollins admitted to the Luzicnan killing, which in there was a lie. Fireman Rollins was accused by the Barajagio government of the Luzicnan killing, and the COI...
How do you know about that?
President want to stop.
How do you know
I love that he takes people from the FBI, those old FBI agents that retire, to come now and do the COI. Because them nincompoop with the tech for Walter Rodney inquiry is nincompoop. I hope he don't bring them.
Okay.
And these wrestling had for this jailbreak inquiry only giving advice. We want people who will give advice to sentence people for doing these crimes that they do to people, children, and what they do to the people in Luzicnan and Sajiosa, because the little boy in Luzicnan say, if people shine shoes come in and kill, and if it was Fireman Rollins them, the shoes would have to have mud because rain was falling at the time, and they coming out of Buxton Bagdam. And Buxton Bagdam, you mean when they come with shine shoes, they have to stop for these shoe shine off or shine the shoes before they go and kill. You understand? I can't see the coming shine shoes and coming out of muddy Bagdam. So this thing got to get people who know about investigating properly for do the COI. Don't matter these ex-judge and ex-army officer and them thing. Get the FBI them involved do the COI. This is the only way we can accept a COI in this thing, because people have to go to jail now. It's time for them to go to jail. These people need to get jail. They do a lot of stupidness. And they're still doing stupidness up to now. And some of these reporters from the channel them, like they so attached to the PPP, that if they got a news and Barajagio say something, there's no even say everything. If Mr. Granger say something, you'll hear what he say. You know, they don't tell you, they don't know if you hear what he's saying. They say what he's saying. But there's not even hear what Barajagio saying. You know why you hear what Barajagio saying? And you have no voice no more in this country. The only voice you got, so when he's saying, yes, sir. And no, sir, in court.
Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Sharma.
Thank you very much.
But there's a question that's never been answered.
Yes.
What happened to Fireman woman that they kidnapped? Remember Fireman child mother?
You know?
No, the police never did carry out an investigation to her disappearance. And right now there's been no answer to what happened to that female.
You was investigating the matter?
No, I can't. But I asked you the question, what happened to Fireman child mother?
There are a lot of missing people too. Remember there was a guy named Taljit who was never found from Queenstown. Now his cousin now is a big developer that the town clerk is engaging. You know? I want to know how this guy became, I think his name is Terence Taljit, the developer. How he became a developer.
The government has announced its intention, as far as time factor allows, to investigate all of these killings. Luzignan, Satshaw, and the hundreds of young men who were slaughtered during the regime of Jagdeo. How far the investigation would go, but they're trying to follow the law, which requires a death by unusual circumstances, should be followed by an inquest. It's a massive task. I don't know how far it will get, but an effort is being made to get some of these answers.
How long is it going to take? How long is it?
I have no idea. It depends on the legal system. And whether they have the physical arrangements. And to assemble the witnesses. That's always look how long the Rodney inquiry took. And nothing came out of it.
How much money cost with this investigation?
Exactly. A lot of hyperbole, a lot
How
of...
much cost to do this investigation? It doesn't matter.
Well, that's the price of the freedom and democracy, I suppose. That's the price we have. That's the whole old PP propaganda.
Oh, yes, I know that. Take your relax.
Hey,
relax.
Mr. Chairman.
Yes, hello?
Hello, good day.
Yeah, good day.
Firstly, let me commend Mr. Green,
Yes,
PM Green,
yes,
for coming to your program
yes,
with the required information to respond to
yes,
many of the comments.
yes,
expressed.
that's true.
Nice.
And to a lesser extent,
Yes.
Leon Saul.
Yes, yes,
But a lot of issues that are to be raised are not raised by the panel. I hear Mr. Sankey talking about what the government is not doing and what the government is not doing. Now, you remember when last year, when they had VAT on the education,
yes,
the furor that took place in this country.
yes,
If anybody listened to Mr. Stachel's press conference, they will see that of the 36 private schools operating in the country, 30 of them were non-compliant.
okay,
They were receiving the VAT from the parents and not paying it over to GRA.
okay,
Stachel's taking them to court now for that. And now, even though the VAT has come off, they're still charging the parents VAT for education.
I didn't know
It's
that.
in the paper.
Well, this is the point I'm making,
Yes,
that I do appreciate Mr. Sankey raising some points that the government has been pulled up
yes,
against.
yes,
But these are things you should bring to the public.
okay,
And it's not only the VAT in education.
okay,
You know, the arrays that Mr. Stachel has put in place,
yes,
the arrangement that he has put in place to collect
yes,
arrears have netted about $4
yes,
billion
yes,
in arrears.
yes,
There are about 2,000
yes,
cars in this country
yes,
that are not registered,
yes, yes,
have come from Suriname and Brazil,
yes.
and are not paying duty on those cars.
Oh, you know about all of that.
Yeah, that's what I'm telling you. Your panel should listen to the press conferences and read the newspaper, listen to the radio. So when they come to your program, they are informed. And I'm saying that the only person that is exhibiting the type of information to respond positively is Mr. Green, and to a lesser extent,
What do you say is true?
Mr. Saul.
Thank you very much. Mr. Green, you are a more responsible person.
Well, I met with the group who raised the question
yes.
of the GT&T
Yes.
pensions. Had a long discussion with them. They came to my home,
Yeah.
5 of them plus the union.
Okay.
And I've arranged for them to see a senior official at the Ministry of Finance on Monday afternoon at 1:30. It appears to me that there was some level of injustice
Yes.
to that group.
Okay.
And it included an engineer.
Okay.
And I hope that we can unravel it and get the matter
Okay.
settled. And that's typical. I spoke to the
You think somebody can resolve?
Yeah, I think
Easy?
so. Well, we'll see what happens
Okay.
after Monday.
Okay, okay.
The idea is to get all the facts.
Okay, okay.
What they agreed to and what they did not
Yeah.
agree to.
Yes.
But the group that met me were quite lucid, they were quite articulate,
Okay.
and I hope we can bring an end to this,
Okay.
what appears to be injustice.
Okay. Call, you're on the air. Hello?
Hi, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Mr.
Yes.
I call him Master James.
Yeah. What? Hello?
Can't hear you.
Yes.
The water by Ansgrove lowland side. I see they doing nothing about it.
Ansgrove?
Mr. Sharma called you like a few weeks ago.
Yes.
Water is rank.
Yes.
And if they won't drink the water, why we must drink it? The water rank, Mr. Sharma got bring some in a bottle and let you.
Yeah, I was bring, when I see, bring, let me see.
And let
Yes.
you tell me if you would use it.
Yeah, I was bring, let me see.
This is
You want to
Ansgrove.
come direct from Mr. Sebastian, Mr. Van Woodshire, who seems to be doing nothing about it.
No, no. Which
From
area
the
is
well, we
this?
got a well here, and you want to come in direct from the well with no treatment.
That's not true.
Yes,
It'll be better
It's not
than
true
that.
that he's
And
not doing anything.
one more
But
thing.
let me see.
Is it, listen, do you live in a
Wait,
designated...
Mr.
Miss-
Granger. Now, this one is to Mr. Granger. Mr. Granger, please, don't do a next inquest or inquiry if you don't make up your mind to put people in jail. The next inquiry we want to see in this country as young people is for people go to jail.
What do you want to do? What do you want to do?
I agree with
People
that.
start going to jail. It's done going to be 3 years. Is let me?
Yes, yes.
Me, right?
Yes.
They're going to make 3 years. Mr. Graham, do we want to see people going to jail? If me, Mr. Sharman, I'm going to tell you something. If they give me nothing else,
Yes.
and I see people who kill innocent young people, go to jail or go in a vote, I fought to the polling station.
Okay.
And who robbed the country. I want to see people going to jail. We had enough. We had inquest by the police.
Yeah.
We had inquest about Rasta Rodney. We had so many inquests already, and nothing is doing. I hear Mr. Harmon gave a little hint that inquiry coming up. You want to see people going to jail? No make no sense. You pay all these big lawyers and all these intelligent minds and you do investigate and you find things happen and still nobody's going to jail. If me get nothing out of the coalition, I want to see some people in jail.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Serious. At least I going to do something in the first 5 years.
Yeah.
What area? Anns Grove?
Yeah, the water stinks.
Which part of Anns Grove?
With the lowland side here.
Lowland. Okay.
The water rank, Mr.
Where you live,
The water stinks, it rank, it dirty.
Is it a developed area or a
It's a
squatting area?
developed area. It's a developed area. We get these lowlands. That's his name and nature. The land is low. You're following it saying Jesus.
It's not a
You know
spot.
Jesus going to come for so we don't follow these lands for.
It's
I
not-
don't know
it's
who's
not-
coming for. But these lands they seem to be following what they give you.
Okay.
But we pay a fee for it, so we don't mind.
Okay.
But the water terrible. Mr. Sharma, you see these rough. Well, let's come out to this water.
Okay.
I can't go to my tap
Okay.
and fill up glass of water and drink it.
Don't drink it.
stinks.
Don't drink it.
It stinks. And I hope we name listening, we name.
This is water
Yes,
coming through the
Charles.
pipes?
Charles,
Yes.
Is this water coming through the pipes?
the water coming to the pipe, rust coming to the pipe.
Rust.
Rust and the water stink because it's not been treated by Guyana.
Mr. Green, could you throw some light on that?
It's coming direct from the well to the pipe. It ain't got
Yes,
no
yes,
chlorine, nothing inside, no water treatment.
I'll raise it with Van West Charles tomorrow
Yeah, but
or Monday.
nah, Mr. Thing, you told me that the last time nothing is happening, and then the water rust.
Yes.
Water. Did you see the sink? Did you see the sink right now?
Yes, yes, yes. Yes, yes, yes.
And then we need some roads.
Yeah.
Like they got the
Yes.
park name going to Anns Grove name Lowland. We need some new roads.
I can't deal with the matter now. I can't deal with the matter now. Thanks. Yeah. Yes.
I agree with the woman.
Make a note of it.
Kuru College Road needs to be repaired. There's a college, co-op college at the back of Kuru.
Starting out on the East Coast.
Anns Grove. Okay.
Call you there.
Yeah, Kuru College Road needs to be repaired. ASAP.
People are going to
Call
school.
you on the hello? Hello?
And the buses
Good
break down.
up. Yes. You're on the air. Hello?
Yes, sir.
Yes?
I would like to point out that the origin of oil in America was started by Standard,
Okay.
a Jewish man named Frank Rothschild.
Okay.
The present Exxon Oil Company is a subsidiary of that original company. And the international banks of the world, including the Federal Reserve Bank of America, is not an American government bank. It's a private institution that prints the American dollar. All these banks, they lend money for wars, and they also have the media, Comcast, which is a part of the world media. These companies also have the companies that rebuild countries, including infrastructure of every sort, after the wars are over. So this is a business. War is a business, including Boeing and all the companies that produce weaponry. Rainier, Boeing, all of these companies that produce weaponry, airplanes and otherwise. They are all part of the same international bankers. Therefore, war is the best business. And Exxon and the American government, the British government, the Canadian government, these white races in general, they always speak of values, but mind you, it's only their interests that is prominent in their activities. So Guyana right now is being governed by them, and we should be very careful that their intent has been to retake Venezuela, and we may be that base from which they intend to fight their war. They need a base. So I want a warning to go to the Guyanese people that we should not believe that these people who enslaved our ancestors.
Where did you get the facts from? Where did you get the facts from?
No, he's right. He's
Yeah,
talking good. Talk on, brother.
Yeah, no, that one.
No, why not? The more saying the right things here. What he has
Why
not
not
said,
writing?
the Illuminati is at the head of this whole scheme
Yes, yes.
of world domination, world economic and political domination. The Rothschilds and these people are the ones who are the puppeteers behind the scene.
Oprah Winfrey and Illuminati.
Yeah. So there is an organization that's very, very insidious, devious, and very dangerous. I speak like this because I'm protected by the Most High Jah, Rastafari.
Okay.
But the Illuminati is a serious consideration, and Guyana is now under their watch. ExxonMobil has recolonized Guyana indeed. We are a slave territory once again. We are a colony. And we got to fight for, not because it's changing up on we hand and we foot, you know. This is a serious situation. And Guyanese have got to be vigilant.
That's an extremely
You agree with that?
an unfortunate statement.
Okay.
About the Illuminati?
Listen to me. I didn't interrupt you. When we talk about recolonization, one has to see the context of what the world is today.
Okay.
We hear this inquiry about
You're allowed.
Carry on.
President Trump of the United States.
Yes.
Some engagement
Yes.
with the Russians.
Okay.
We are dealing with a new world.
Okay.
I say to my friends, what is the alternative?
Okay.
When Bonner was part of the non-aligned movement,
Yes.
we got together, all the people who produce copper, gold, oil, to get together into a cartel to say, look, we're going to be independent. That's how the non-aligned movement started. We go there, we have the four leaders there, Tito, Nero, Krumah, and who else? Nasser. Those men were visionaries. But reality is, you're dealing with a powerful bloc.
Okay.
They have the military. You talk about the military. Yes. You have to learn to work with them.
Okay.
If you can give me an alternative to not working with them and getting the best out of it, I would like to hear that. The reality is the world is as it is. It spawned slavery.
Okay.
It spawned in colonial movement.
Yes.
And we know
Yeah.
that when we got our independence, the effort continues to take that political independence to another level.
Okay.
But we don't get emotional about things we can't change. You have to deal with it. You got to pray. You got to hope that you get the best deal out of the world. The Illuminati and those people, they've been there. Look, at one time there was analysis which said the world was ruled by 3 families.
Which are the 3 families?
Who the 3?
The Roosevelts were one.
Rothschilds?
I don't remember the names.
Okay.
But if we are to be responsible people and to give our young people a chance to be part of a new world, it is easy to say this thing ain't good. What I want is what is good.
What can we do to
It's
ensure?
easy to criticize.
What
You
can
don't.
we-
You have to be bright to criticize. You know.
What can we do
What
to ensure
the genius
more
we
people
need.
benefit? That's the point.
Exactly. That engagement has already started with the government. They go into various areas to say to people, what can you do that you can benefit from oil?
Okay.
I've said on this program before, oil must not be seen as a panacea to put money in a man's pocket. It was seen as an opportunity to improve his social standing, his infrastructure, his education. That takes time.
So what mechanism?
If you put all the oil money into education and health, you're off to a good start.
What mechanisms we have in place to ensure that those at the top don't siphon off?
Well, I don't know what you mean by the top.
Okay.
And I'm not given, I've been in politics since 1953.
Yeah.
I'm not given to making irresponsible statements that I can't prove. We must assume that you have a government that's responsible,
nobody can question Granger's integrity.
Yes.
No.
And nobody can swear for other people.
No.
All I'm saying is irresponsible to make those statements without having the evidence. And I'm not prepared to be part of any discussion that you can't produce the evidence. What I would like to hear from people, what else can you do when the oil revenue flows to help ordinary people?
Bye.
If you want to put money in the pockets,
right now, live program.
that's a no-go. That don't make sense. We said last week, teach a man to fish, don't give him a fish. And we have to be very responsible because we can mislead people into feeling that Exxon and the oil is going to bring money overnight.
But as a pioneer of the good and green Guyana concept, out of which now we have the Green Development, Green State Development Strategy white paper. Brother Green, don't you think that even in our deliberations towards oil, we are missing out on a bigger deliberation as to how we can transform our whole system towards a green economic state, indeed, even with the products we are growing right now?
The government is doing that.
But why is
They've
it
already started consultation with the various communities as to what they would like to see when the level of revenue goes up.
CARICOM just issued a statement this week, CARICOM, about the marijuana question. It's a serious question because CARICOM is dealing with it right now.
Hello?
Why is it that we're being intransigent about dealing with it?
Hello?
Hello?
You're here, please.
How are you, sir?
Yes, go ahead, please.
You know, there are a lot of people that come on this telephone just to expound on what they believe in their academic information. The truth is that we are a small country. We have a lot of resource, but we do not have the means. And when I say the means, I mean the experience, the academic, as well as the monetary sense of making it a reality. This oil we're speaking about was discovered since 1976.
Before that.
It took 40 years for them to finally put it back on track. And we're speaking about money that there is no other part of this country can produce what oil can produce. I'm not saying they're doing it because they love us, they're doing it for money, which is what everybody else in the world does. They don't come here because they love Guyanese. They come here to invest their money so that it will increase in such a way that it's compensatory to them. We have leadership here that are academics. They're wonderful people, but they're academics. This world is made by people who have done it, who can produce industries, stimulate the various national resources that we have, and turn them into monetary sources so that people can have jobs. And we will never be the Rothschild family. It does not exist in our world. What we have to use intelligently, and just like what is being discussed by some of the people, utilize what we have to provide a means by which our people can get jobs, develop industries, and so on. Look around you. We don't have, look at right next door in Brazil. We have the largest sugar producer probably in the world, and they're making money. We're not making any money. Is something wrong there? I'm just saying we have to look at what we represent and what we can materialize out of the resources we have so that the people of Guyana can benefit from not only the resource, but our ability to turn it into something that works for them and their children and their future.
Thank you,
sir.
And what do you think about the agriculture sector?
Thank you, Stan. Let me hear from the people. As you mentioned, agriculture, and yesterday,
that's right.
The Prime Minister, myself, and the Minister Holder went to Region 6. We spoke with the severed workers from Skeldon and also from Rosal. And at least we went there to give them hope. And what I indicated to them there is that 950 persons, farm employees, will be severed and paid 100% of the severance on Tuesday. And also in Rosal, be 306 will be paid, 306 farm employees will be paid 100% severance, and that's Tuesday. The payment will commence Tuesday, and it will proceed until it's completed. Same thing with Enmore. Payment will commence on Monday, and proceed until it's completed. And so we could take calls in relation to
Caller, hello.
Kaisuku.
Hello.
Hello.
Yes.
Hello.
Yes.
Green.
Yes.
Green. Hello, Mr. Green here?
Yes, now Green is right here.
Yes.
Yes.
Mr. Green, I beg to differ from your statement where you talk about English.
Okay.
I mean, you're an elderly human being and we respect you as a society.
Yes.
An elderly person.
Yes.
But when you come to talking about English, you're misleading our nation. Now, we say that the research shows that the wisest set of people is the Nigerian, and they worship Yahweh, Father, Yeshua, the Son, where they call
and we don't have much time to deal with that, right?
I come into the point.
Yeah. You got to make your point, make your point.
Making it quick.
Yes.
And they bring this guy, this rapist,
yes.
called Jesus, or what do you call
Okay.
it. Even though, if you look at the guy,
Okay.
he didn't come from Ethiopia.
Okay.
But then again, the garments is Ethiopian garments. When you talk about this English, we are not Englishmen.
Okay.
Brother, we are from Ethiopia. We are the descendants of Ethiopia. We were slaves. We were like Kontikente was bitten to call it. He was Kontikente, and they bust the man behind till he could have said his name. What was the name of the man?
Toby.
Yes. You see what I mean?
Yes.
So when you spoke about English and English is our English is not our thing. We need to follow to the trend. Maybe you're well educated in that field, this English language. And if Burnham had 27 languages, English could not have been hard by section. So we need to step out of that mentality, because what was in from the wise and the prudent, today it reveal unto the babe and the suckling. And I will advise you, put away pride and what have you, and self-pride and respect, and come and let this small brother Nigel Landon, he could teach you history from the book and from the first 5 books of Torah, which the Bible was written. Because English language don't have a foundation in the first place. It was a Latin language, so it could not be the most perfect language we have on the earth. Thank you very much, and have a blessed day.
Minister, what do you think about the sugar workers' payment? What do you think about the late payment of sugar workers? Late payment.
Well, I think sugar workers should understand what government did had to do for them to get this money, and government had to actually go back to the drawing board. I think if the viewers and listeners in this program had listened to a program that we had sometime late in 2017, when they had a crisis, and I indicated in the program that we will have to go back to the ministries and take back money. What I recommended then, that was the drastic move, but what I recommended is that we take $2 billion from Central Housing and Planning Authority. And that is how we settled one of that issue in, I think it was in around September. And then they had a next crisis in December. We couldn't find any money. We asked Kaisuku to take $2.5 billion from a commercial bank. And that was to assist them with the payment of salaries and other expenses for December. So what I'm saying to you, viewers and listeners, is that this administration in toward 2 months put toward $2 billion towards Kaisuku, and you have to add in that $2 billion that Central Housing and Planning Authority, Ministry of Communities are giving them for lands. Then you have to put in a $2.5 billion that they borrow from a bank. And so then you understand what this administration have done. When they borrow that money from the bank, government of Guyana guarantee that money. If they fail to repay it tomorrow, we got to stump up with $2.5 billion to repay that. So what we're doing, we were struggling since 2015 when we got into office in May to provide for Kaisuku, an industry in which the former administration totally destroyed. And I could tell you how they destroyed, but let me not only speak, but also listen to the calls.
Calling in here, hello? Hello?
Hello?
Yes?
Jai Paul?
Yes.
I'm very thankful that you're here. I'm glad.
You have to speak up loud. I can't hear you. You have got out of the I take your phone off here.
Glad that you got.
He's the same guy.
Hello?
Yes, so that is toward the $6.5 billion this administration basically doled out in toward 2 months. Added to that, you ask the delayed payment. Now it comes to severance, and the numbers we're not sure about, the amount that we had to put forward we're not sure about. there were 500 million that was allocated in the 2018 budget towards severance. So therefore, when it was actually determined the amount of persons that will be severed, that figure came up to 4,691 persons that will be severed, totally severed. That's total cut from Gaisuku in terms of employees. And we came up with that figure. The Minister of Finance, Mr. Jordan, had to garner that money, and he put a supplementary provision, for very early supplementary provision in the National Assembly, which was debated on the 19th of January 2018. That supplementary provision, if you recall, was 1,750,000,000, if you recall that. We increased that after the same day we had a meeting with the two unions representing sugar workers in Gaisuku, Dago and Nasi. We automatically increased that to a figure of 1,931,000,000, if you recall that. That was to ensure that an average of 46% of the severed employees will receive 100% of the severance. Now, that is what we did. It's not easy accumulating those money. Although it was a supplementary provision, and I guess the caller may come with common sense and say, since supplementary, why are you claiming you have to cut the budget? Well, we still have to cut the budget to the ministry because it's supplementary. We're going to ensure those ministry will not expend the money. So we're going to keep within our budget of 2,677.1 billion. So that's a quick explanation.
Okay. Call you Hello?
Yes.
Yes.
Good afternoon, Mr. Jay.
Good afternoon.
I hear you mentioned those other essays, but here you mentioned those essays. But yeah, severance.
Yes.
Yes, Wales estate workers will be receiving severance. However, there is a court matter, and so those persons that are part of that court matter will not be receiving the severance because Gaisuku made an offer for them to go to IFLOT. And under the Severance Pay Act, there is a provision there, I think it's section 12 of the Act 19 of 1997, the Severance Pay Act, that say if you have an offer, well then you will not be severed. But what the opposition is harping on and the union is harping on is that in that said act, there is a radius mentioned in the act of 10 miles from the place of your original employment. And what they claim in that IFLOT is outside of the 10 miles radius. However, when the PPP put that act into place and it was passed, the road network was not as it is today. And so the mode of transportation, everything changed. So maybe we have to amend the act and you're being compliant. But if you really want to work, why are you making issues? Your family right now is leave Guyana to go to Trinidad, to go to Barbados, to go as far as United States and Canada, to send money back for you. Why you can't go next a couple miles and to work and to...
We work on the agreement. We work become a right.
No,
we don't have agreement. No, you got to listen.
I answer your question. I put it to you. I put in a question.
Hey, good afternoon, Jai Paul.
Yes, good afternoon.
Jai Paul, I want to ask the people who are getting severance must protect themselves. And
from what?
From
what?
Robbers.
Money, what they getting, must take care and don't go on
in the bath.
do lawlessness and be wild on the road or whatever they get.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
Yes.
No, that's an important point.
Carla, you made a very important point. After you finish, yes, go ahead.
Yeah, I hear now because you know, Jai Paul, these people might get their money going in sports. Sometimes one might get $500,000 and
Hello?
No, I think GHK Lal made mention of that they have to know the money's there, people know they got money and they're going to rob them.
So I think I mentioned some figures.
Yes.
Hello, good day, good day, everybody. Good day, my friend.
Okay.
We congratulate the government.
Yes.
In your effort in solving the people, in solving the sugar workers. I hope that the sugar workers will understand that you're having a government who's on our side, a government who's interested in all the people of this country, not in no tribal.
Very good. Hello?
I love this government.
Yeah.
Sugar workers, support this government. Support the development of this democracy. Thank you very much for listening.
Thank you.
Yeah, so I think I mentioned some figures, and the caller, although he was setting up himself for his statement, I think we should.
Mr.
Sharma.
Yes. That's what you want. Take more
Let him
calls,
finish.
yes. Hello?
Hello?
Yes.
Good afternoon, Mr. Sharma.
Good afternoon, yes.
Hello?
Yes.
Hello?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm here.
Good afternoon, Mr. Sharma.
Yes.
It's about the cane cutters. You ain't got nothing but cane harvester, it's cane cutter. You ain't got no cane harvester, it's cane cutter. And then if cane cutter throw up the cane in the pond, they wouldn't get paid. If cane cutter, their wife will make up 4 o'clock in the morning, but people say, but cane cutter don't work hard and they get enough money. Cane cutter ain't got no big house.
They never say that.
When the wife wake up, you don't have to wake up from 4 o'clock in the morning because cane cutters work hard.
Who says they don't work hard?
So we just work hard. So if we just throw cane in the pot, we can't get paid.
Okay.
We can't get paid. We don't sit down like you all in the office and get.
Jaipur, go ahead. Yes.
Yes, so
Yes,
it's not
yes.
cane
Okay.
harvesters, it's tillers and planters, and that is what is the majority of the workers. The cane is manual labor. And so we're not saying you don't work hard. We know your wife's got to get up 3:30 in the morning to prepare meals for you. You have to start moving out of your home around 4:30 to catch the truck to go to the back dam. We know about the hardship. So you having a severance. You having a severance in circulation by Monday, between Monday and Wednesday, there will be a circulation of, I give you some figures.
Yes.
1,931, which is supplementary provision, plus a 500 million. Put that together, 2,431 million will be circulated in your pockets. Okay? So that is the kind of money that will be in the economy.
Stimulate.
How you spend it is up to you. I'm saying to you, be careful. Do not spend it all in one place. Put up some, and also, you have to save. Now, this administration didn't have to do this. Don't believe we are forced to do this. Gaisuku is a company under the Companies Act. And if they cannot exist, then they will have to do as a company will do. They'll have to file for bankruptcy. And so if your government was heartless, your government would not have pumped 32 plus an next 4.5 billion, 36.5 billion in the economy in 2 months. The PVP who you supported and who they claim are supporting you, they in total for 48 months only had pumped 16.1 billion into the failing Gaisuku, which they destroy. And you may want to know how they destroy it. And so the destruction of the sugar industry was your leader presently, Dr. Barjaglio, who had came up with this wise idea of creating the Skeldon Modernization Factory, which we refer to as a duck, a white duck.
White elephant.
We want to call it a white elephant, we call it a white duck, a Peking duck. The Chinese company built build the factory, and they didn't have a Muscovy, so we had this white duck, a very soft factory. This is where the demise of Gaisuku came. How it came about? In 2003, they started planning for the construction of the Skeldon. The original cost of the Skeldon was put at $165 million US. Then in 2005, when they're ready to commence the construction, the cost rose to $185 million US. There's a difference there. But the funding of that $165 million US, what people call it white elephant, I call it a white duck, came from the World Bank. 65 million US came from the World Bank. 32 million US came from the Chinese bank, which they call China Exim Bank, Import-Export Bank. That 32 million, the repayment for that is 2025. And we borrowed 24 million from the Caribbean Development Bank. Repayment for that, yes.
Okay.
Repayment for that is 2033, 15 years from now. And Gaisuku put 53 million US. Now this is where Gaisuku sunk. Because excuse me, the 53 million is supposed to come from the sale of land. no land was sold. So Kaisuku had to go into the reserve, and they had to get 53 million US dollars out of the reserve. Now, 53 million was not the only thing. Remember, I told you just now there was an increase from 165 to 185. Kaisuku had to also put a further 12 million US dollars. So then, when the factory was in operation, it developed a problem within a few months, and Kaisuku had to find the next 7 million US dollars. So Kaisuku, within a very short period of time, less than 2 years, had to find 72 million US dollars to put into the Skeldon. They emptied the bank account, basically. And from there on, they start to borrow. And that put them in this cash-strapped position. In addition, the industry suffer from a number of issues.
Strikes.
And, right, strikes is one of them, where the condition, which is you accept. But worker performance was also an issue. So worker demand for increases in salary, annual production incentive, and things like that. And that also destroyed the industry. The industry, the yield per hectare was very low. And that also was the coffin, the nail in the coffin, that so to speak. So the industry had a number of issues. And so the militancy of the union did not help. When in 2010, when the chairman then, Dr. Gopal, who was a PUP supporter, and he was put to head the Kaisuku, he had threatened to de-recognize Gau. Jaglio, I think he was in Brazil, and he came back and he heard what happened, and he said, no, this wouldn't happen under his watch. And he decided to give the sugar workers the increase. Well, Dr. Gopal, maybe a very wise man, he said that he could not pay an increase and under production incentive to the sugar workers in 2010. But Jaglio, he wanted to, elections coming up, he wanted to please the people. He said, no, pay them what they got to get. And that further drives the nail deeper in the coffin. And so these are some of the things we could discuss more of it, but as I said, I don't want to speak much on it. You tell me if I'm wrong.
The European Union also had given some money, billions, to offset.
Colony, hello? It's a same people making this problem.
Another one.
The truth,
hello?
The truth shall set you free.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, yes.
Pertaining to what the minister said, he gave an example to King Cutter.
Yes.
That you left and go to America and work. You understand? Now,
You never say we got to in America or what?
yeah, he told the guy that
I didn't hear that.
you got to travel distances to go to America and travel all the miles to work.
Exactly.
But this guy called him in Guyana. He chose to stay in Guyana and work as a Guyanese. So that example is irrelevant for me, which I agree with Mr. Sharma now on the other aspect, where he's saying that the Company Act does not allow that because it could come bankruptcy. I agree with that. Now what we need to do is change that so because the workers will be protected from that with these companies. I think that's what we need to do. Because if we don't do that, every company would end up saying they're bankrupt, and all the workers going to be out without the benefit.
Okay. Thank you very much. We have a 10 minutes more to go in here.
Yes, so in addition to that, this administration also, the caring nature of the workers, and also the effect, as we know, that severance will have on the country, the economy, the people's lives, we decide to, try to cushion it. And how we cushion that? I was part of this. The Ministry of Finance is the ministry that's looking after everything in terms of financing. So one of the areas in cushioning it is that we decide to extract those workers from Kaisuku that was in the area that is not really connected to the industry, And it was, maybe you could say it was a burden to Gaisuku. So Gaisuku had to provide all these services, some of them health services. So we're looking at the staff in the various health departments and areas of Gaisuku, and we're bringing them under the Ministry of Public Health. Okay? So they're now taken care of. So similarly, Gaisuku is responsible for a number of community centers, the grounds. Two of them we were at when I visited Rosal and I visited Skeldon. Those grounds, workers will also be taken to maintain those grounds, workers from Gaisuku. And so here again, we found an avenue which we could take workers and give them their payment. So that will go to the ministry that is responsible for that, and that is Social Cohesion Ministry, the ministry responsible for youth, sports, and culture. And then there's other aspect, and that is drainage irrigation. Gaisuku provide drainage irrigation not only for themselves, for the communities. We will take those workers, put them under Ministry of Agriculture and the National Drainage Irrigation. Here we find room to, to cushion the blows that the workers will face. So there is reemployment. Now, when I spoke about Rosal and only over about 600 will be paid 100%, there's about 700 something persons, I think 786, that will be severed from Rosal. That amount was much larger than that. 720 workers on the 21st of January 2018 sign on to move from their factory that is now closed to go to two factories that is still in operation, Albion and Blairmont. 720. Now that 720 could be strong-headed, like when Jagdio went to Wales and trying to people's mind from going to IFLA, those 720 people could be strong-headed like that and say, no, we're not going to go to Albion, we're not going to go to Blairmont, we want our money. Good. Those 720 persons went peacefully to those two locations. So we save again next 720 persons.
Your closing remarks, please.
I just wanted to defend my country. The previous caller was talking about war, involvement about Canada. We, Canadian, we are sending peacekeeping forces to maintain the peace around the world. And also, I will be very thankful to Mr. Sharma to give me this opportunity to hear your program. Every country has a different issues, and you are discussing about that in the freedom of speech. And I wanted to thank Mr. J here. Personally, it's my personal comment. I'm so proud of your Prime Minister, Nagamuthu, His Excellency. I'm speaking Tamil. By birth, I'm a Tamilian. By nationality, I'm a Canadian. And it's the first man who ruled the world from the Tamil community, His Excellency Mr. Nagamuthu. I'm so proud. I wish to see him and greet him, his success. And Guyana is a beautiful country. I heard a lot of things good about Guyana. And I love to be here. I love to meet people. I wish you good luck. Wish you good luck, Mr. Prime Minister.
Mr. Green, your closing remarks, please.
We are turning the bend, and as we have a very strong vehicle, those in charge must take the corner safely. And I say to my friends on the panel out there, let us be rational. Let us understand the nuances of history. That Guyana is a small country with big dreams, but we're part of a big global mess. And unless we negotiate and have faith in our leaders, we will mislead our people and will be further frustrated. It's not going to be easy. Guyana is part of CARICOM. We're part of the non-aligned movement. We're part of a world managed by the giants. And if you want to ignore the giants, you're going to be crushed anyhow. You've got to learn to work with them and get the best from your resources out of them. That's all I want to say.
Rasa, your closing remarks, please.
Well,
make it snappy. We got much
My
time.
faith is in the Almighty
Yes,
Jah,
yes.
and then the leaders.
Yes.
And their history is replete with instances where when you call upon the
Yeah.
Almighty,
Okay.
foes like Goliath
Okay.
disappear.
Okay.
So Mr. Green, Illuminati and all them, Exxon and all them, we're not scared of them. We call on the Almighty, and we're saying that when it comes to dealing with sovereignty, we will not bow. That being said, I still recognize what you were saying about having to work with forces around, but at the same time, we need not compromise our national patrimony and our national sovereignty. And at the same time, I call upon Jah Rastafari.
Yes,
Closing
and
remarks.
we need to congratulate Maurice Arjun. After 10
Okay,
years,
okay, that's
and
right.
we hope the others, Mr. Vincent and Mr. Baldio, will get justice. And then, concerning the city council, they need to, the town clerk especially, needs to pay attention to what the people are saying, and he should desist from trying to take over the play fields in Bel Air and into Bryanville, and also listen to what they're saying about parking meters and garbage collection. And we hope that Mr. Junigard will not have died in vain. He has said that his constituents don't agree with the $200 per barrel.
Minister, your final comment.
Yes, so I just wanted to say to the people, the number of callers calling about the oil sector, the new emerging sector, and one of the well, when it's in operation, that's Lisa well, will be bringing $1 million to Guyana every single day. That's one well. There was many other wells that was discovered. So, you know, don't be led astray. It's a matter of months. You have to wait. The country will be getting this money. Those monies will be going into developmental projects, infrastructure, healthcare, which is social sector, and many other sectors. Also, we have to save. So one of the area, Lisa 1, and the target is $1 million a day. Just think about that. So don't be led astray. Now, what we are doing, we have this special purpose unit. I'm part of it under the Ministry of Finance in collaboration with NISL. And that unit already is working on an agreement with a local company in Guyana that is interested in molasses. And we in discussion with them that we could have an interim agreement. And remember, we have to sell this, these estates will have to be divested, have to be sold. But it will probably take about 7 to 8 months to do that. In the meantime, we have an interim agreement. So we're speaking with this company that want molasses, and and so we're looking at that. Now, if we have this interim agreement, which could be in a matter of a month time, we will need workers. So we have to go back and more, we could get some workers. I'll be looking to get the best workers. So right now, I'm looking at the list of the employees and those employees that attended the work and things like that, so we're selecting the best. We don't want to enter an agreement with anyone to produce molasses and then people start to strike and the molasses cannot produce. Also at Wales. At Wales, they are two Trinidadian company, and again, an ex-local company that want that land at Wales. The local company is interested in producing rice, but you should not be fearful, those in the rice sector. The rice is not to be sold and compete with you in the private sector that produce rice. It's for their own company. So the rice that produces is for value-added purposes. The two Trinidadian companies interested in coconut industry. Lands will also be given to severed workers and others that want lands at Wales to develop other initiatives. So Wales I could think of between next couple of months we could settle with Wales, and that the interim agreement that I'm speaking about could happen with Enmore. A similar agreement could happen with Skeldon. So we're looking at this, and so this should give you hope that we are working as a government to ensure that those workers will not be on the breadline or unemployment line for too long.
Thank you very much. Have a nice day. Have a nice day.
One love.